And I think if Gilbert had changed up his takedown attempts and looked for a single to a double to a high crotch to a fireman's, you know, and really had that rapid pace, he could have, you know, done what Jack does to me in the cage and taken down a lot easier. So I feel like he was bigger and stronger than Jack, but you know, he didn't have the wrestling capabilities that Jack's got. And I think without Jack, that fight would have been fucking hard. Like, Jack really prepared me for that fight without even knowing about it, because obviously he didn't know I was fighting him, he didn't have, but just the years of training with Jack, I get used to a big, strong, powerful man trying to muscle me around and using my length to get out of it. I think obviously I'd fought 6 days before, so I think a lot of my explosive power and energy was very low. I was feeling pretty bad for that fight. I mean, I think if you watch the episode carefully and you hear just in my voice, I don't feel very well. I got cold sores, which shows that I'm run down. You know, I'd had a tough week. But having said that, considering it all, I feel like my performance was always going to go that way. There was 2 ways the fight was going to go. I was going to get taken down and held down, and he was going to dominate, or we were going to have the fight that we had. There's no... when you fight a guy that's 5'9", massive, he's going to get hold of you and he's going to be powerful, and you've got to have to sort of wear him out a bit and then, you know, look to capitalise, and that was always the game plan. I actually, before I went on the Ultimate Fighter, obviously I was meant to be fighting a guy called Matt Ewing, which never actually happened. And that's all I thought during that fight was, this is Matt Ewing, you know, because it's the same build, same sort of game plan, take me down. And I sort of mentally prepared for that fight before going and started training a bit for it. So all my getting up and everything I'd done, I'd been training for Matt Ewing. So, you know, I thought I performed well and showed a lot of good techniques, showed that, you know, we can wrestle in England. Although I'm long, lanky and skinny, you know, I've got power. It's just a different sort of power to Gilbert. So I was happy. It was good. I think I probably lost the first round. Looking back at it, a lot of people have said that I won it. A lot of people, but I just feel like he had me where he wanted me to be. You know, he was implementing his game plan, and I wasn't. So to me, I look like I lost it. I think I could have lost. That's how I thought in the fight as well. In the second round, I went into the second round thinking, I've got to finish Gilbert. I can't let this go 2 rounds. That's what I had in my head. Because, you know, with a 2-round system in TUF, Gilbert is built for it. I mean, he's a stocky, strong guy, and going 2 rounds, if he'd gone into the 3rd round, I would have murdered him, because he would have burnt out by then, you know, and I definitely would have had the cardio. Give me a minute to rest, I would have come out strong. Gilbert probably wouldn't have. And, you know, so if it had gone 3rd, I would have been more confident, but I don't think I would have even got there. I think I would have lost the fight, to be honest. But that might be me being my worst critic, because a lot of other people have said that I won the first round. I fought tougher people than Gilbert, but I think the fight itself and the atmosphere was tough. Like, Matteo Peran was although I made it look quite easy, that was a tough fight for me. And obviously Ben Callum, although I made that look easy, that was a tough fight for me. And I think Ben, you know, if I fought the guy again now, I think it would be even tougher. I think it would be a much tougher fight than Gilbert. Nicholas Goring, my first fight to get in the house, that was, I mean, they don't show it on the show, that was a fucking tough fight. Like, they really don't show it. They describe it as a dog fight. And the only reason I say it was tough, I think technically I was better than him. I had better cardio, I think everything was better, but he come to fight. You know, he had the Diaz mentality, and he would not go away. You know, I elbowed that guy literally about 100 times in the face, and he just got up, tried to beat me up again, you know. So, definitely tough fights, but I wouldn't say they're the toughest to date yet. I believe the fight starts when you know you've got to cut weight. And the fight announcement is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and you have to make weight at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So from fight announcement, I was given 24 hours to make weight. Obviously, I'm a pretty big middleweight, so I'd already cut weight a little time ago, but I'd gone from 185 pounds up to 217 pounds, I think it was. So yeah, something like that. And I ended up cutting 22 pounds, whatever the maths is, eventually. And it was tough. It was definitely a tough experience for me, doing that weight cut. I mean, my next fight I cut 30 pounds, so I cut a lot of weight. And having to do 2 weight cuts it's the atmosphere, you know. It's not like I'm at home watching TV, and, you know, cutting weight was pretty stressful there. And it definitely affected me. Like, that's why I feel like in the fight against Gilbert, I didn't give it my best. But it was the same for Gilbert, so, you know, you can't say anything else. He's a pretty big dude too, so him cutting weight must have sucked too. But mentally, I learned a hell of a lot off Chael, and those 4 days, you know, he built me up. They don't show it in the show, but his coaching style compared to John Jones' coaching style is completely different. They're complete opposites. Like you see one scene at the very end of the episode, I think, when Jones is saying you should be pissed off that we lost, you should be pissed off you might get picked next, you should be pissed off that, you know, you might get beaten, you're out of the competition or whatever. And that, all I heard from that when I saw it was negativity, negativity, negativity. You know, like he was using negative influences to get his guys to get rallied up. Whereas Chael was coming in and he said, "We'll leave you alone today, man. It's just a fight. You'll be fine. You know, you got this sorted." He was everything. One of the phrases Chael uses throughout the series is compared to what? He says, "This fight's going to be tough. Compared to what? You know, compared to going to war." You know, when you look at it like that, it makes the event seem so much smaller in your head because obviously fighting's a high pressure sport and people put a lot of pressure on themselves. But compared to what? You know, if you lose, what's going to happen? You're going to be in the fight house for another 6 weeks and get to learn loads of stuff and train with some great guys and go home and it'll be fine. You know, so he had a really, really good coaching style and mentally in 4 days he built me up really, really well. And going into the fight, I felt amazing.